There's a lot of talk these days about gender roles. Actually, the conversation started a long time ago. The feminist movement began in 1848 at the Seneca Falls Convention. Women gathered there to argue that women should be able to own property, have the same educational opportunities as men, and perhaps most famously, have the right to vote. Voting rights at the time were tied to military service. When the 19th Amendment was ratified in 1920, no such requirement was included for women. Second wave feminism grew in the 1960s under Gloria Steinem and Betty Friedan, author of The Feminine Mystique. They, along with others, started the groundswell movement that became modern-day feminism. That movement moved from legal rights to economic and social rights. In the forefront were demands for reproductive freedom, freedom from workplace discrimination as it applied to promotional advancement, equal pay for equal work, and the fight against sexual harassment. This is also where the idea of gender roles first entered the conversation. Nature or nurture was the leading topic when it came to traditional roles. Third wave feminism began in the 1990s with the development of women's rights into intersectionality that we see even today. Women's claims of oppression were trumpeted despite massive gains. By then, women outnumbered men in colleges and universities and graduated at higher rates. Demand for equal pay for equal work and the belief that women were paid 75 cents on the dollar compared to men was disproved when you considered the average number of hours women worked, the amount of leave time they used, and the kinds of jobs they worked. Fourth wave feminism brought us the #MeToo movement and an expanding cry for justice for the half of the population that continued to see themselves as oppressed. The introduction of social media platforms such as Instagram and Twitter, X, encouraged protests against men who were labeled toxic. They spoke of rape culture and online misogyny. Reproductive rights morphed into the belief that a woman could abort a baby at any point in a pregnancy. A Supreme Court justice was confirmed despite being unable to define what a woman was since she wasn't a biologist. Title IX, which was supposed to give women and girls the same opportunities to compete as their male counterparts, was challenged when men claiming to be women began to unfairly compete against women at all levels. So far, crickets from the feminists who claim to stand up for women. Sorry for the diatribe, but it's important to understand how we got here, especially in light of this week's Parsha, Chayei Sarah. The life of Sarah begins with her death. The truth of it is that the preceding chapters highlight who she was in life. At the age of 65, she was so beautiful that she caught the eye of Pharaoh's courtiers and she was taken into the palace courtyards. Don't forget that Abraham lied about their relationship to save himself from being killed. God had to intervene with plagues on Pharaoh's court to get her released. Same thing happened later when Abimelech, king of Gerar, saw Sarah, took her into his harem. This time, God went directly to the king in a dream, telling him he would die if he so much as touched Sarah. It was Sarah's idea to give her handmaiden Hagar to Abraham to help God with his promise of children. That didn't turn out well. Hagar was insolent to Sarah when she found out she was pregnant, so Sarah put her out of the house. She returned and gave birth to Ishmael. 10 years later, at the age of 90, God blessed Sarah and Abraham with the son of promise, Isaac. When teenage Ishmael behaved inappropriately with his toddler half-brother, commentators here have various opinions about the nature of the behavior. Sarah again insisted that both Hagar and Ishmael be sent away for good. This demand grieved Abraham. Ishmael was his son as well. However, God said to Abraham, Genesis 21:12, "Do not be distressed over the boy or your slave. Whatever Sarah tells you, do as she says." Interesting, given the criticisms directed at that patriarchal society. The idea that women were an oppressed class receives so much airtime. In this week's Parsha, when Abraham sent Eliezer to his family's home to find a wife for Isaac, Eliezer's asked what to do if the woman he finds doesn't consent to follow him. Abraham told him that if the woman refuses to come with him, he would be relieved from his oath. Genesis 24, 5-8. After the episode at the well where Rebekah's behavior matched the prayer Eliezer prayed, they went back to Rebekah's home. The next day, when Eliezer said he had to leave, thus presenting Rebekah's family with the choice to send her or not, they asked that Rebekah have 10 more days with her family. When Eliezer said it was not possible, they called Rebekah to ask her opinion. She was the one who said she would leave immediately. There was no demand from her parents or her brothers that she stay. All this to say that women hold more power than we might assume, then and now. Reminds me of a quote from the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where Maria Portokalos tells her daughter Tula, the man is the head, but the woman is the neck, and she can turn the head any way she wants. In other words, gender roles in the family are there for a reason. The man might be the decision maker, but the woman is the soft influence on those decisions. The man might be the protector and provider for the family, but the woman is the protector of the spiritual aspects of home life. She provides the conduit to the heavens. And if you have concerns about that, listen to Sarah. We are told that Sarah died in Kiriath Arba. The word Arba means four in Hebrew, and it symbolized the four basic elements of every physical being: fire, spirit, water, and dust. Hebron, the current name of the place where Sarah died, comes from the Hebrew word mechubar, which means connected. When the body is alive, these four elements are connected. And even after death, they're still related when the soul leaves the body. In many ways, the Judaic perspective on the whole gender role issue turns the idea of a patriarchy on its ear, especially in the home. Because of his interaction with the physical world, Jewish men are to wear a head covering as a reminder that while they might feel like they are in charge, there is one who is greater than they. There is also a requirement that men wear tzitzit, those fringed shawls, or even a four-cornered undershirt with knotted tzitzit on each corner to remind them of the 613 commandments given by God. There are no such requirements for women to cover their heads or wear tzitzit. It's fair to ask why. The reason is that men represent the physical aspects of who we are, and women represent the spirit. The Baal Shem Tov gives an explanation of how the physical body and the spiritual soul should join forces. When a Jew is walking on the road and he sees his enemy's donkey, in Hebrew, donkey comes from the word homer, material, the soul sees her enemy, the body, lying under its burden, struggling with the heavy load it is determined to carry through life, all the do's and don'ts of Torah and Jewish law. Help the donkey, commands the Torah. Don't leave him on the road. Don't take the load off of him. Help him carry it. Don't leave the physical behind. Chayom Yom Shabbat 28 on Exodus 23:5. We struggle to see the connection between the physical and the spiritual in this world and tend to prioritize the physical over the spiritual. We lean into our physicality and compartmentalize the activities we judge as soul-related. The fact is that everything from what we eat to the work we do to the places we go are meant to be infused with direction from God. And it's hard sometimes to know whether we're going in the right direction or following a wrong path. In the end, our faith in God, the belief that He wants only the best for us, is what gets us through the decisions and difficulties we experience. Remember to help your physical donkey carry its load. Tap into the deep wonder of understanding how everything around you is from God for you. Oh, and remember to listen to Sarah. Women really are always right.